thank you for what an amazing greeting that is. Thank you so much. By the way, round of applause for yourselves, everybody. Yeah, round of applause for yourselves. You did it. You left the house tonight. You're doing a real thing. You know, you could have stayed home with your spouse on the couch. That was the alternative, you know, just sitting there sharing TikToks with each other. Just being there like, But you're here. Thank you so much for that. That's amazing. I will address this right off the top, because whenever I'm in a crowd this size, I start the show, I can always see people kind of looking and pointing at me, and they're like, is that the guy from the thing we saw? Like, was he on that Netflix thing or that commercial that we saw? And to everybody out there tonight who recognizes me, I just want to say, no, you don't. I'm not famous. I haven't been on TV. If you recognize me, it's because I'm a generic white guy. That's why you recognize me. Yeah, I remind you of everybody you've met once and couldn't name to save your life. That's who I remind you of, right? Your coworker's boyfriend, your cousin's roommate, your niece's orthodontist. That's who I remind you of. I have what I like to call the Honda Civic of faces. Maybe you haven't seen this exact year and model, but you've seen something like it around town. I have such a generic look that if I committed a crime, the police would just be like, suspect is described as having an appearance. It's so bad that guaranteed about once every 6 months, I'll get a text from my friends out at the bar being like, Craig, we found your twin. And then it's just a picture of them with their arm around some other white guy kind of my age, right? And I'm always like, come on, you're my best friends. You know me better than anybody else in the world. And then I click on that image. I'm like, I see it, though. It's there. Like, ask him where he got that sweater. It looks good on me. It's so bad that people don't even recognize me after the show. Yeah. People come up to me and they're like, were you one of the comedians? I was like, yeah, I was the last guy. I talked for like 40 minutes. And here's the thing, I know why they don't recognize me off stage, and here's why. It's because when I'm on stage with the lights and everything, I don't wear my glasses, but off stage, I do wear glasses. So just to give you a preview, if you're looking for me after the show, this is what I look like off stage. Here we go. Some of you are like, whoa, where'd he go? Comedy and a magic show, wow! Well, this is what I look like with glasses on. This is what I look like off stage. And I must say, it is sometimes worse to be recognized with the glasses than it is to be not recognized. And I'll tell you a story about this. This was after a show. I had just done a gig at a wedding. And by the way, if you're thinking that you want comedy at your wedding, you don't. Never goes well. Never goes well. But I mentioned that all to say I was dressed well. I was dressed for a wedding, and I had done the gig with my friend Tracy, and we were out on the sidewalk after the show talking when a friend of ours comes up and he introduces us to his girlfriend that neither of us had met before, right? So this girl just goes up to my friend Tracy and goes, oh my God, Tracy, oh, so nice to meet you. Oh, Tracy, oh, look at your dress. Oh my God, Tracy, look at this dress. This is gorgeous. I love this dress, the way it matches your hair, the way you're accessorizing it. Oh my God, I love this. I love you. I love you, Tracy. I love you. And then, very drunkenly, she turns to me, looks me up and down, sees the glasses, and goes, you remind me of the old man from Up. Well, you didn't have to say that. It could have just been, hi, nice to meet you. I mean, now I know I can't be photographed with balloons or chunky Boy Scouts. That's good to know. People be mean in public for no reason. This actually happened to me not too far from here. It was on the day of 4th. It was in September. It was a beautiful September day. Bright, sunny, warm. I had just gotten a haircut. I was walking home, and I passed this guy on the sidewalk. And I cannot stress enough, I did not even make eye contact with this gentleman. And he said to me 6 words that will stay with me forever. He passed me on the street, looked at me, and he said, "Really? Whole summer? That's the tan?" Are you kidding me? That was 6 words. 6 words he did that with. I just got drive-by roasted by this guy. That's incredible, okay? I'm not even mad. That's poetry. That's the for sale baby shoes never worn of insult comedy. That's amazing. I'm a professional comedian. I've strived my entire life for that efficiency in a takedown. That's amazing. It happened so fast, I could not even tell you what this guy looked like other than leathery. He practiced what he preached. He looked like the kind of guy who would hear the 6 words, "I'm so sorry, it's skin cancer." You know, that's, yeah. Wear sunscreen is my point. Speaking of, do we have anybody here who's still under the delusion that they can be better people? No, I love that for a crowd. I love that. You're like, no, fuck that self-improvement bullshit. We're drinking on a Wednesday. We're gonna gain weight this year. I will say I am trying to be a better person in one way, though, which is this. I am trying to get off social media because we all know it's bad for us, right? It rots your brain. It's addictive. It's terrible for you. But my biggest problem is that whenever I'm like, today's the day, I'm going to delete this app from my phone, there'll be that one post. And I'll be like, okay, one more day. It's always something like, you know, it's a puppy rolling down a hill. And I'm like, this is worth the mental illness. This is fine. And I had a post like that recently that's kept me on social media. And this was the funniest thing I have ever seen on the internet of all time. And I'm going to share it with you here tonight because I want to spread this joy. I want to share this with you. Here's what it was, okay? It was just a post from the official NASA account, okay? National Aeronautics and Space Administration, the space people. And all it said was, "Just a reminder, astronaut applications are due on Tuesday." Okay, if you're not laughing at that, you're not thinking about it hard enough. Let me paint you a picture. Right now, everybody in the room, I want you to imagine an astronaut, okay? Whatever that means to you. Chris Hadfield, Roberta Bondar, Buzz Lightyear, whoever it is. That last one's from Toy Story. Keep up, people. Here we go. Okay, but whoever they are, better than you in every way. Smarter, more capable, more determined. Now, I want you to picture that person sitting at home on the weekend, being like, there was something I was supposed to do this week. Then that person pulls out their smartphone, starts scrolling through their feed, and then all of a sudden is like, "Oh no! Astronaut applications are due on Tuesday?" And then that person has to do a last-minute astronaut application. Okay, think of all the things you've ever done last minute, right? School projects, filing your taxes, naming your firstborn child, okay? Now think about how well that went for you. You got a C-, you were audited, you named them Caleb, it didn't work out. Well, this person's sitting there being like, no, I still got time, I can still pull this off. I just need to graduate top of my class from the U.S. Navy's test pilot program, get a PhD in aeronautical engineering, and learn Russian by Tuesday. Somebody put on a pot of coffee. I think this one might be an all-nighter. And here's the thing, we've all done it, right? We've all applied for jobs we're not qualified for. They do the same thing that we do, right? You tell the same lies. You go, well, maybe not that many people will apply. Maybe they're desperate to hire somebody. As though NASA is going to be sitting there like, well, we didn't get any qualified applicants this time. But how about this one that came in at 11:59 on Monday night? None of the skills we're looking for, but it says here they're a quick learner and proficient in Microsoft Word. Let's put them on the rocket. I do like space. I do like all that sort of stuff, astronauts. But as futuristic as that is, I do think no matter what the future holds, we're all going to be disappointed. A couple 20-year-olds here are like, what do you mean? Everyone else is like, that's about right. No, here's what I mean. I just don't think that the future is going to live up to our expectations, right? And here's an example of that, right? Like my parents' generation, right? They got to the year 2000 and they were disappointed. They were like, what happened? We were promised flying cars, right? Now, 25 years later, my generation is like, what happened? We were promised houses and jobs. Like what? And one thing I know for sure about the future is that no matter how smart you are, no matter how tech savvy you are, no matter how connected you are, there is going to be that one technological leap that's going to leave you behind. For my grandmother, right, smart woman, the technological leap that left her behind was the switch from the rotary phone to the touch tone phone. Couldn't get it, right? My mother, again, intelligent woman, spent a lot of time learning how to type on a typewriter. The technological leap that got too far for her was the double click of a mouse. Yeah, I was like, okay, Mom, what you want to do is you want to hover the cursor over the icon and then you want to double click it. And she's like, okay, click, click. I was like, that's not a double click, that's actually 2 clicks. As I'm saying it out loud, I can hear how stupid that sounds. I don't know how to explain this to you. I'm 14. And here's the thing, though. It'll happen faster than you think, because the technological leap that is going to leave me behind has already happened, okay? And here's what it is that when I am online, I can no longer tell what is human. Yeah, it's the fakes have gotten too good. You're online, you're like, is this a real person or is this an AI chatbot, right? Is this an actual celebrity or is this a celebrity deepfake? Is this a genuine hottie or is this a chain-smoking 60-year-old alcoholic with a bold glamour filter enabled? I don't know, just sitting there and being like, whole summer, that's the 10, kid, like... But the fakes have gotten too good. That's the problem. I recently saw a fake video of Donald Trump. It looked like him. It sounded like him, except he was explaining differential calculus. That was the only thing that tipped me off, was that he was saying something intelligent and not doing his own rendition of Mein Kampf's greatest hits, right? Like, that's what set me off. And that's how good they got, right? We love to make fun of boomers for not getting it, but if you think that you haven't been tricked yet, you have, right? They can even, you don't need to be a politician. You don't need to be a celebrity. They can do it with your faces. Yeah, this is a real thing that can happen. What fraudsters do is they just need to get a picture of you off of social media somewhere, and with a laptop, they can just replicate your face and create a digital mask that they can wear by themselves. Then they just need 15 to 30 seconds of audio of you talking somewhere on the internet. They can clone your voice, make you say whatever they want you to say. And then what they do is they call up your friends, they call up your family, and they do it on a live video call, and they say, we're in trouble, we need money, send us money. And your friends and your family do it because they're on a live video call with somebody who looks like you and sounds like you, having a real conversation back and forth. And all of you are sitting here in terrified silence because this is the first time you've heard of this, and this is a comedy show. But this is 100% a real scam that is happening, to the point where security experts have said that in order not to fall for this, you need passwords with your friends and your family so you don't get scammed. And I, for one, just want to say that I am not going to remember our password. It's never gonna, I'm not gonna remember that we had a password. I'm gonna get a call from you and you'll be like, help me, I need money. And I'll be like, sure, stop saying applesauce. Honestly, that's the most suspicious thing you've done. Or it's gonna happen the other way. I'm gonna call up a friend, I'm gonna call up a family, and I'll be like, please help me. I lost my wallet, they stole it, they drained my bank accounts, I've got no way to get home. Please send me money. And they'll be like, okay, Craig, what's the password? And I'll be like, I guess I'm dying in Italy. That's the password. So just to recap, okay? The bridge too far, the technological leap my grandmother couldn't make was this to this. Technological leap my mother had to make. Click, click. My technological leap is that I can no longer depend on my eyes and ears to positively identify the people I love and trust most in my life. Okay? Ours is worse. Ours is worse. And it doesn't sound like a vision of the future, right? That doesn't sound like I'm describing the future. When I describe that, it sounds like I'm describing some old Nordic fairy tale that you tell to children to scare them into behaving. That's what it sounds like. Just sitting there being like, well, children, gather round and hear the story of the doppelganger. It will steal your voice in your face and prowl the world preying upon your loved ones. And it can only be defeated by a riddle. I don't want that to be my future. I don't want to have to answer every single video call all old-timey, being like, hark, cousin! Your tale of tragedy and woe hath touched me and moved my cold heart to generosity. And though thou looketh, and though thou soundest like my mother's brother's son, pray tell, what be the word of passage shared twixt us yesteryear? Speak truth now, lest ye not receive the interact electronic transfer. The other side of it, though, is that there are real things that people think are AI now. Like, I had a coworker who didn't believe that Mount Rushmore was real. She's like, no, that's AI. They faked it for the movies and everything. I was like, it's a real place. And to her credit, it does sound like a prompt that you would give an AI. Where you're like, show me the face of 4 white dead men carved into the side of a Native American holy place. That does sound like a, let's put Genghis Khan on the side of St. Peter's Basilica. There we go. That's the same thing. But the thing I find most fascinating, honestly, about this AI art trend is that the promise of artificial intelligence and automation has always been that it's going to free us from all the dangerous, dirty, and awful jobs that no one wants to do and allow us to pursue more creative things. And the thing I love about that is that the first industry they got rid of was artists. It's like, no, you fools, that was the jobs we all wanted, right? That was the plan, that was the utopia you promised us. We were all gonna sit around on couches, feeding each other grapes, discussing philosophy, having orgies, and making art. Like, that was the plan. And these tech bros are out here being like, good news, everybody. You still have to fill potholes with hot asphalt by hand. You still have to hoe soybeans by hand. You still have to clean toilets by hand. But thanks to miraculous advancements in machine learning, no human being will ever again suffer the indignity of painting a sunset. Yes, finally our artists will be free to pursue their true passions of working a 12-hour shift in a windowless Amazon warehouse where they don't get enough bathroom breaks and have to pee into a bottle every day. Just sitting there with the tip of their dick inside an empty Gatorade bottle while they stare at a picture of a sunset on their tiny little phone screen, being like, can you believe the computer made this? The future's incredible. But here's the thing. Computers are coming for all our jobs. They're coming for all our jobs. They really are. Like right now, there is AI chatbots that can pass the bar exam. There's AI chatbots that can pass the medical licensing exam. They're even coming for this job here, stand-up comedy. Yeah, this is 100% a thing that is real. Right now, online, every night, there is an AI-powered stand-up comedian that streams on Twitch. And this comedian got banned from the platform for telling a transphobic joke, which is terrible, but is also a very accurate amateur comedian. Yeah. Say something dumb and getting banned by the venue, congratulations, you nailed us, you got it. Like, you can hate what you see in the mirror, but you can't deny that it's you, you know? And that's the level that they're acting on, though. That's the level that the AI is working at, right? They've been able to replace our worst, dumbest entry-level employees. That's what they've been able to do. And here's the thing, I don't think AI is as smart as the people selling it make it out to be. Like, are AI comedians funny? No. Can AI artists draw hands? No. Do self-driving cars hit pedestrians? Only children. I don't think they're as smart as they make them out to be. I just think that your jobs are a lot dumber than you believe. Right? Like, I talked to this one guy and he was like, wow, there's no way a computer could ever do my job. I'm in finance. He's like, yeah, like I've got to compile a bunch of data, make a bunch of quick calculations, and make very accurate decisions. I was like, you just described a computer. That is exactly what a computer can already do. And he's like, well, no. My job's more complicated than that. And I was like, I'm sure it is. I am also sure that a computer will eventually figure out how to wear an overpriced suit and be shitty to baristas. I think they can do that. And the problem is, though, we're not ready as a society for computers to take our jobs, because we love to judge people by how employable they are. We love to judge people by what job they have. Even if you think you're a nice person and you don't do it, absolutely you do, okay? And I'll prove it to you. Just think about meeting somebody for the first time. What do? You ask them their name, you ask them what they do for a living, and then you forget their name. Every time, that's what you do, 100%, right? Like, that's even gonna happen to some of you here tonight, right? You're gonna go home and you're gonna be like, oh my God, I went to this comedy special taping, it was so good, there was this one comedian on there, and he was talking about like artificial intelligence and automation and all these sorts of things, and your coworkers at work or your spouses or your roommates are gonna be like, oh my God, that's so great, I wanna check him out, what's his name? No fucking idea, yeah. There we go. Honda Civic face strikes again, everybody. There we go. It's my special. My name's on the marquee. No big deal. No fucking idea. Right? Thank you. And it's fine. It's fine. I don't blame you for that, right? Because you already know all the information that you need to know about me. You don't need to know my name. You know my job. You know that I'm the comedian on stage right now entertaining you. You know exactly where I stand in the social order. I am right below bass guitarist and just above magician. That's where I am. That's the hierarchy there. And you have no reason to remember my name, because we never ask people questions that would actually make you remember the name. Like, we ask people what they do for a living. That's perhaps the most boring question you could ask somebody, right? We never ask questions that matter. Like, we never ask, like, what was the last small act of kindness someone you love did for you? We never ask people that. We never ask people, like, what is one thing, one positive thing that you truly, deeply believe about yourself? We never ask people that. We never ask people, who are the people that you love and who love you back? We never ask people that. No, we meet somebody for the first time and all we do is say, who are you and why do you deserve food? We love to judge people by how employable they are, to the point where we can't even imagine a world where people don't have jobs. Some people get upset at the idea that we might not have jobs. They're like, wow, we can't just pay people, just stay home. just do nothing all day. They'll just sit around smoking weed, playing video games. I was like, well, first of all, both of those things are jobs right now, so fuck off with that. But also, no one's gonna do nothing, right? And you know this. You know that people won't just sit around and do nothing. Just think back to the first couple months of the pandemic, right? Everyone was stuck at home. No one could go anywhere. People were laid off. Nobody did nothing. People got in shape. They went to therapy. They took care of their kids. They went back to school. They started a business. They learned new languages. Do you realize so many people learned how to bake bread within the first 3 months of the pandemic that we ran out of flour as a planet? Human beings have been storing and distributing grain since the dawn of the agricultural revolution. And enough people learned a new skill on their own volition to fuck that all up. Nobody is doing nothing. You know what people will do if left to their own devices? The same thing they have always done throughout all of history, which is they will work to improve their lives and the lives of the people around them. It's just that we don't call that work because it doesn't make rich people money. Right? And if you want proof that that's what people will do, you just need to look at the people in our society that don't have jobs right now. And I'm talking about retired people. Because retired people are the busiest fucking people you will ever meet in your entire life. Okay, I called my dad up the other day and I was like, hey dad, what have you been up to? And he's like, well, you know, got up early, got in 18 holes of golf, was home and showered by 9:30. Then Bob gave me a call, needed some help installing shelves over the church, so I went and helped him. And then the day kind of got away from us, so we had a late lunch around 11:30. Like then in the afternoon, I went to the bank, the library, the grocery store, and the farmer's market because they have fresher strawberries. Picked up the grandkids from school because their dad had a meeting. And after dinner, we're driving all the way to Florida. And I was like, how? I did 2 things today, and one of them was call you. I don't know where all the time goes in the day. I really don't. Actually, I know where some of it goes. I do know where some of it goes. I do waste a lot of time watching ads on YouTube. Or at least the first 5 seconds of the ads on YouTube. I don't know who's not skipping over these given the choice. I don't know who's sitting there being like, no, no, no. I have the time. Win me over, Dollar Shave Club, win me over. Nobody's doing that. But I have seen so many ads on YouTube that I do actually have a favorite genre of ad, a favorite style of ad, if you will. And you've seen these commercials before. You've seen these ads. They're the ads where they ask questions that don't have any answers. They even have a special voice for it, too. They always say something like, can luxury be intelligence? Or how do you quantify passion? In the game of life, how do you keep score when the pursuit is excellence? And you're like, yep, those are words you put into a sentence. Good for you. The problem is, though, that they don't use that technique for all ads, right? They only use it for the luxury stuff, the stuff that you can't afford, the stuff that you can afford, the stuff that you need. They'll just come out and say what it does. They'll just be like, hey, we're diapers. We hold the piss and most of the shit. And you think to yourself, that actually checks a lot of boxes. I'm gonna buy those diapers. No, they only pull it out when it's a luxury product, something that you look at and go, oh, I'd love to own that, I'd love to have that, but how could I possibly justify such an extravagant expense? And that's when the voice kicks in and says something like, I don't know. What's the shape of a dream? And it tricks you. It tricks your dumb brain because you go, yeah, you're right. Some questions don't have answers. Like, how am I going to afford this? I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy the BMW convertible because that way everyone will know that I'm important, but that I also make terrible decisions. And by the way, if you're wondering, a BMW is not the answer to what is the shape of a dream. A BMW is the answer to what does an asshole drive. Yeah. Couple cyclists in the crowd. Everyone else. I will just say, if you are at all offended by that, by all means, come and find me after the show. I'll be right next to your turn signal. But I did realize that those ads only work when the questions don't have any answers. And I realized this when I saw this one ad. Once again, an ad you've seen 1,000 times, right? It starts, and there's this car weaving its way down this coastal road, right? And then the voice kicks in. I go, okay, here we go. Here comes the questions without any answers. And all it says is, how do you measure the power of an engine? It's horsepower. It's horsepower. You don't even need to know a lot about cars to know that it's horsepower, because every other car ad tells you it's horsepower, right? That's not a thing that you should leave out for mystery. That seems like something you should know if you're trying to sell me a car. It's kind of like seeing an ad for laser eye surgery and then being like, is this thing on? Like, you should know that. I skipped the rest of that ad. But I imagine it just carried on in the same way with them asking questions about cars they don't know the answer to. Right? Like, how do you know how fast the car is moving? The speedometer, the one in the middle, oh my God. Okay, but what does the pedal on the left do? The left, that's the brake. That's the first thing you should learn about a car. Oh no. Okay, but how do you change the clock on the dashboard? That was actually a little more difficult than it needs to be. So probably just do what the rest of us do. Remember that it's off by an hour. Wait until daylight savings time rolls around again. I don't blame them for not getting it right, though, because times are hard, times are tough, no one's doing their best work, and housing prices are crazy, food's through the roof. Like to be honest, to let you know how I'm doing right now, I'm not doing well enough that I'm going to achieve any of my goals. But I'm not doing bad enough that the Queer Eye guys are gonna come bail me out. But if you ever have been that way, if you've ever been a little depressed, a little down, you know how it affects absolutely everything in your life. It affects how you perceive things, it affects how you think about things. And if that hasn't happened to you, the best way I can describe it is this. I was reading about this zoo in the United States and how they recently got this new exhibit that they were billing as the world's deadliest cat, okay? And some of you are hearing that and you're thinking lion, tiger, bobcat, lynx. No, it's none of those things. This is something that's known as the black-footed cat. It's native to South Africa, okay? Smaller than a house cat, and it has a 60% kill rate. Yeah, which means that 60% of the things it tries to kill, it successfully kills. A lion, a tiger, for reference sake, is like 20% tops. Okay, so this is a deadly cat. And then I kept reading, and I learned that the reason that this zoo got this animal was that the black-footed cat is endangered. And I read that, and I just thought to myself, what fucking hope do the rest of us have? If the world's deadliest cat is barely getting by. Because no one here tonight is doing better than the world's deadliest cat. Okay, this cat, once again, smaller than a house cat. It is out there every night killing 14 to 16 small birds, lizards, and rodents. And you're telling me it's having trouble making ends meet? When was the last time any of you crossed 15 things off your to-do list in a day? Never have it. Once again, smaller than a house cat. This cat has a 6-foot vertical jump. It can leap straight up in the air and intercept a bird mid-flight. Meanwhile, we're all out here 38 with 2 roommates trying to keep the dream of homeownership alive. No one's doing better than that cat. And also, this is the world's deadliest cat. Do you know how deadly you have to be? You are the deadliest of the deadliest. Okay? I don't think you realize how deadly cats are. I will show you. If there was a dog on stage right now, the size of a truck, all of you would be looking at it being like, whoa, is he friendly? And he would be, and we'd write children's books about it. If there was a cat on stage right now, the size of a dog, you would all be running for your lives. Front row would not make it. Anyone with strings in their hoodie, say goodbye. And that's the cat you're thinking about is the ones that we let in our house. This is the deadliest of those, okay? It's the deadliest of the deadliest, and you're telling me it doesn't matter? You're telling me that this cat starts its day the same way we all do, just crawling out of its burrow, being like, here we fucking go again. Just get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Just go out there and be deadly. Just one more day, man. Just one more day of being deadly. Do I even want to be the world's deadliest cat anymore? I know I was passionate about it at some point, but it really feels like it's become more of a habit at this point than anything. And then it's out there hunting. It's looking at its cousin, the domesticated house cat. And like, look at him. Look at him. Just spending all day lounging around in a sunbeam. Eating pureed chicken from a can. Maybe I could shit in a box for that. I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't be. And I know comparison is the thief of joy. I know that. But what joy? What fucking joy? The joy of being a little too drunk on a Wednesday, holding back tears on public transit because the idea of going home and facing another day just fills you with dread. Just dread at the idea of starting another day of toiling away in obscurity because you insist upon doing high concept jokes that alienate large portions of the audience. It's like, oh yeah, Craig, that'll win him over. Yeah, let's take something relatable like depression and struggle and make it relatable by sharing weird statistics about an animal no one's ever heard of. Yeah, that'll win over the TikTok generation. You know how they love long-form, subtle content. Yeah. And now you've completely abandoned the metaphor altogether. You're explicitly telling the crowd that the joke is about you and not about the world's deadliest cat. You could have done it. You could have brought it in for a landing. You could have tied it all together, done something really clever, made it all work together. But now this guy's just gonna go home and forget about you completely. He's like, he didn't bring it together. He's just gonna forget about me like the fish from Finding Nemo. Which, by the way, if you've been paying attention, is the third fucking Pixar reference in this set tonight. It's like, what? Just do the work, Craig. Come up with a better reference. Why are you always going with the lazy, easy children's book thing? But you just, the guy from Memento, absent-minded professor. There, two, right off the top of my head. But you didn't even put that amount of work in. No, you were just like, it's Dory from Finding Nemo, it's Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story, and the old man from Up, who you know is named Carl, because Up is your favorite movie of all time, even though you tell everybody that it's Jurassic Park, because somehow you think that that's more acceptable. Even though you know that the key to success in comedy and art is to be brutally honest and show people a part of yourself. But you can't even tell a room full of strangers that you cry at the first 20 minutes of that movie every single time. As soon as the music kicks in, it's just waterworks coming out, just waterworks. But frankly, I think you do need to admit, man, because I think everyone here can tell, you need the release. You need the release, man. You need to let it out in some other way. And now they're all looking at you, and they're like, man, this bit's been going on for a while. And then there's other people being like, is this even a bit anymore? Or are we actually watching a man have a mental breakdown on stage while he films his comedy special? And I don't know which is which, but they're giving me the light now. They're like, get off stage, Craig. Get off stage, which means I'm over my time, which means I'm not getting paid for this, which I cannot afford right now. I cannot afford that right now. They're just like, bring it in for a landing. Could wrap it all up, Craig, but we're not bringing anything in for a landing. No, we're circling the airport. We're just jumping fuel, ready to crash and burn, because you can't stop going on and on and on like some sort of long-winded hack. Anyway, really changes your perspectives on things, guys. My name's Craig Fay. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.